Welcome to Gems of Wisdom with Teresa Maron. We have gemstones and crystals, chakras and shamans, experts to delight you with ahas and amens. The conscious collective is growing by caring. Join us and add your voice to the sharing here on locallivehouston.com every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hi there, I'm Teresa Maron, and this is Gems of Wisdom, and I'm so happy to welcome you today, live from Houston, Texas, on locallivehouston.com. We are 2 days down from the countdown to the end of the Mayan calendar, and I am so excited. It's also the winter solstice, so we have a couple of experts here. First of all, I want to introduce the expert on the Mayan calendar, Miss Mariela Maya.
Well, thank you so much, Teresa, for the invitation, and thank you to all the listeners for joining us today and afterwards as well, and happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, we're so glad to have you here, Mariela, and we also have Kevin Casey, who is an expert on astrology and is going to help us out by telling us how all the planets are aligning for the winter solstice. Hi, Kevin.
Hello, Teresa. Thank you for having me again, and thank you for listening, too, for all of our listeners. Thank you.
It's very exciting today, and I want to remind everyone that Gems of Wisdom is sponsored by the Gem of the Week. And this week, I'm so excited to have these beautiful stones with me today. They are actually, this one in particular, is a stone that was taken from the river that runs right by the Mexican pyramids in Chiapas. And this is a river jasper. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it down to the guest. This is another river jasper from Chiapas, and jasper is known for its properties of low vibration. Now, sometimes you might think that it would be better to be high vibration rather than low vibration, but the idea is that low vibration stones are for long-term sustainable change, and something like maybe 26,000 years. What do you think, Mariela?
Most probably.
Most probably. These are probably little spirit beings that have been around since the previous 26,000 little cycle. So they're quite wise. That's why we call them the Gems of Wisdom. This is another beautiful black jasper. It's got some gold and copper striations in it. And this is a stone that actually resonates with Kevin Casey. The last time that we did the show, Gems of Wisdom, Kevin was very struck by this stone. And it's an orange jasper with hematite in it, and it's for long-term abundance, like abundance for the generations. So that's really quite an amazing idea, isn't it? To have a stone that can make enough money or bring in enough abundance that you would be able to leave it for generations and centuries. The whole idea about jasper is long-term sustainable change, like we said. So one of the great things that you could do with jasper, based on color by the chakras, of course, is to start a new program, start a new idea with education, start a new career, and a new relationship. It's the perfect stone to anchor when you want to get married. So these are all properties of jasper. And now that we've gotten with the Gem of the Week, I want to turn it back over to Kevin Casey and say, Kevin.
Yes, Teresa.
Can you explain to me a little bit about the excitement of the winter solstice this year? What's going on out there in the heavens?
Well, actually, we have had, and we're going to have the next, the big event in astrology right now is the planet Uranus, or Uranus, as some people call it, is squared, which means it's in a difficult relationship with Pluto. Okay,
Uh-oh.
Which is yes, they're not getting along. They're both, and Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn.
Uh-huh.
Pluto's about change and transformation, and Uranus is in the sign of Aries, which is about freedom.
Oh.
So what we've got Uranus is very individualistic. It's an awakener, and it's in the sign of Aries. Pluto is in Capricorn, which is about governments. So this is why we're seeing all of this revolution going on. It's because it's a call for freedom. What it is.
Actually getting chills based on that.
And so this is what we saw like the week of, we saw just a couple of years ago, them in the Middle East.
The Greece.
Yes, all of this in the Middle East started, rebelling. And that's what Uranus, anytime there's revolution, Uranus is going to be involved.
Oh,
Usually, yes.
huge statement.
Yes, because when Uranus was discovered, the French Revolution and the American Revolution were going on. So that's, and it's a big player right now.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yes.
So, along with the Mayan calendar interest going on across the world, we were also seeing a lot of unrest, a lot of revolution.
Yes.
And this is all Uranus.
Yeah, Uranus and Pluto also. Yeah, so
And
this,
Pluto.
those two. So it's in Capricorn is the old order, and Uranus is the new. So
what
that's
do-
all that it is.
So what do you think about the winter solstice and the starting of Capricorn, the first day of Capricorn, the winter solstice, and the end of the Mayan calendar, all converging upon us at one time? Is it fabulous?
It is. It's very, very exciting is what it is. It's because people are going to be experiencing a lot more freedom in being who they are and being who and what they are. So it's really actually a very, very exciting time for everyone.
I have to bring Mariela into this now because there has been so much. I mean, for a whole year we've been talking about the end of the Mayan calendar, and I just have one question for you, Mariela. Should I pay my credit card bills, or what's going on here?
I get that information, that's a question all the time.
Aw.
And it is an end. It's an end of a cycle. Every December 31st is the end of a cycle. We're not in 2011 anymore. And as of Friday, we're not going to be in the cycle anymore. So you can pay your bills.
Oh, darn.
But don't have to rush. And it's actually a beautiful, beautiful shift of cycles.
I feel it. I know that I've been reading and I've been hearing on the news about people that are stocking up on survival gear. In fact, in Russia, there was this huge thing yesterday where everyone got in a fight in one of the cities in Russia trying to stock up on survival gear, which is a good idea at any time as long as you don't get in a fight. But I personally feel such an anticipatory and beautiful unfoldment of energy across the planet. I mean, I'm absolutely enthralled with it. Is that kind of psycho?
In reality, and I would like to take something that Kevin just said, the old is falling and the new is emerging. So we look around and everything seems conflictive and chaos. And as the Mayans see it, the end of this cycle, giving birth to a new cycle, is a moment of rebirth. As any path of change, transformation, and rebirth, there are major things going on that take us out of the known structures, all for good. So the more we're centered in our hearts and the more we allow ourselves to feel the shift, it doesn't matter what we hear, what's going on around, we know it.
It's better to experience the shift
Yes,
than to
absolutely.
read about it or to, certainly not to fear it. In fact, embrace it, right? Embrace this feeling.
And as I always say, this cycle is 5,125 years. So
How many?
5,125 years.
Honey, did you hear that?
So how blessed we are of being part of the shift. And instead of fearing it, to really embracing it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Kevin, tell me, you've been doing back-to-back readings for
Yes.
about 4 weeks. And have you been able to get a read on Houston, Texas? I mean, we're live from Houston, Texas. So let's just talk about the feelings out there in Houston. Kevin is a reader at the Body, Mind, and Soul store here in Houston, Texas at 4344 Westheimer. And we are blessed to have him today.
Oh, I'm really excited to be here. And yes, Teresa, there has been a shifting in people. First of all, feel like they are supposed to be doing something with purpose. We're getting that question a lot, like I feel like I have a purpose or I feel like I have a calling. Can you help me figure out what that is? The other thing, the big event that's going on too, is Neptune has gone into Pisces.
What?
Yes, and this is going to be for the next 13 years. So a lot of people are having psychic experiences, intuitive experiences. They're having dreams. They're saying like, oh my God, I knew this was going to happen. And so what it is that all of these, when the walls or the structures are coming down, what it's doing is it's opening everyone's intuitive centers too. So people are saying, Kevin, I had this dream that I was going to get a new job and then I got one. So that can be expected. And so part of it too is getting everyone to embrace their intuitive skills. You're not crazy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're not crazy. You're not losing your mind.
So
you're
I have
just
to pay my
opening
bills,
up.
and I'm not
you
crazy.
You have to,
Okay.
yes. For the next 5,125 years,
There we
yes.
go.
So
problem.
that's another one. And the other one I want to say, too, is Saturn is in Scorpio. And so what that's
Don't
asking,
point at me when you say that.
is in Scorpio. So what you're having to do right now also is look at the things, especially like in our relationships with people, that we normally don't want to, we don't want to look at. What are your fears? Okay, what is it that you need to look at that you want to change? If you just look at it, embrace it, you're going to see a lot of people making big changes.
So let's recap that.
Yeah.
All right. Pluto is an outer planet.
Yes.
And it is in
Capricorn.
Okay, and then we have Uranus,
In Aries.
and we have Neptune.
In Pisces.
Wow.
Yeah, so the outer planets, those are big. And usually their energy, you have to really just kind of go with it. Because if you resist it, most people I'm seeing now are having more problems if they're resisting the energy. That's what it is. If they go with it,
It's like
it's going to be,
it like really just pushes you right
Pushes-
out into
yes.
a fabulous place.
into a great place.
I don't know. I've been feeling that. Now, Mariela, you were describing something to me that was so interesting, and that's like a connection with nature that you feel is part of the shift. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. In the shift between the old and the new, in this old that is falling, we've been truly disconnected from who we are. We are nature. And the more we allow ourselves to be in nature, we recover that inner connection with our own essence. And in this last hundreds of years, especially since the Industrial Revolution, we've been so much into technology and all the iTunes and iPods and that we just forgot who we truly are.
Tell our listeners and our viewers about that butterfly story. It was wonderful.
Well, we have a beautiful ceremony coming this Friday, and it is amazingly overwhelming with so much love and gratitude to see so many people that are looking forward to participate in ceremonies and gatherings. And I was with the co-host of the ceremony, and we were running around and putting everything in order. And when we finalized loading the car and all the 3D needs,
Right.
we just hugged each other and we felt our hearts, and we felt so much gratitude to be almost there 2 days before. And we opened our eyes. It was in the back in my house. We opened our eyes and we have this amazing butterfly dancing in between us beautifully. And she just went to a chair that I have in my deck, and she was just looking to see what was happening. That's what magic is.
I believe it.
And it's there all the time. It's here all the time. It's just a matter to pay attention to it.
I love that, Mariela. So, Kevin,
Yes.
what advice do you have for people to kind of just think about from now until the end of the year? Let's just take the next couple of weeks. We've got the solstice, we've got New Year's Eve, and we've got planets shifting. What kind of advice could you give to our listeners and our viewers about how to really embrace this energy?
To embrace it, first of all, I would want to say just quickly about money type issues, because I know that's on people's minds too. With Pluto and Capricorn, everything is going to settle down, okay? And it's just very much about us kind of taking responsibility. So everything, money-wise, just know that it's going to be okay. The other thing is in really paying attention to how you're feeling and your insights. Like if you look for, like, do you see a number repeated? Is there a word or a name that you keep hearing? Pay attention to that. It's not just your imagination. So look at things that are repeated there.
So there are signs coming
Signs
to us
coming to
from a
us.
higher power.
Sometimes people are looking, they're like, it's 111, and then I look at my watch again, it's 11:11. Pay attention to that. Those are new beginnings. And if you're hearing, like I said, a name or a word, like Mariela said, the world is communicating with us all the time, so just pay attention to it.
I love that, Kevin.
Yes, and
Listen,
embrace it.
You are one of my favorite guests. You are my mystery guest today, and I appreciate you. Would you like to tell the listeners and viewers one more time how to get a hold of you?
Absolutely. I give readings on Tuesdays and Fridays at Body, Mind, and Soul, and you can contact us at bodymindandsoulhouston.com. And thank you so much, Teresa and Mariela.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and I'm sure you'll be back in January. But right now, I'd like to just say we're going to say goodbye to Kevin with a song called New Beginnings, since you brought that up.
I love that.
Off of Mariela's new CD. It's number 1 from her new CD called New Beginnings, and we will see you soon.
Bye, Teresa. Thank you, and thank you for listening and watching, too. Thank you.
Wonderful.